punk ain't got shit on me.
Say what again?
Well, we some kind of suicide squad.
You can't handle the truth.
It's a trap.
Bad biscuits make the baker broke, bro.
Game. Blouses.
Ciao, barman.
Ciao, Kaiti.
Hello?
Hi.
Barbara? Is that the
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Hey, sexy lady.
Hello, ladies.
Oh, yeah, good luck.
That's what you have to say?
Everybody in the club.
That's what you have to say? Wow. You're fucked, man.
Getting that way.
Yeah.
Where's my glass?
That's where you put it.
That's a good question, man.
Which one is my glass?
Not this one. That's your glass.
I don't know. Just pick a glass.
Any glass. So this episode is in English because we're sitting here with the guildmaster of Less Than Free. Olge.
I was sorry for all your Estonians that aren't going to understand the rest of it. At least I gave you something.
It should be quite few.
Or the rest of you that are listening outside of Estonia, you can actually
You're welcome.
hit your friends listen in, because once in 50 or so episodes you can actually have your friends listen in.
I remember Friends. So,
We're not friends.
yeah, you guys all speak Estonian. Yeah, you would listen in anyway. You just want me to learn Estonian. Never mind.
You want to learn Estonian.
I'd love to learn Estonian.
Yeah.
I'd love to learn any other language.
One of the hardest languages to learn.
Yeah, but
And that's your first foreign language?
well, I did French for like ever and then shit at it.
Je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais pas. That's it. That's what I got.
If our English was as at the level as your Estonian is, then we would meet somewhere in the middle. But
I understood.
our English is so good. As Estonians, usually our age people, we're just going to enable you to speak your English and never learn Estonian.
Kind of like that. And that's the trouble with English everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Like everywhere I go, everyone speaks better English than I do.
Only the bigger European countries are less
Inclined.
Yeah, inclined. Yeah.
But nothing's worse than the English. Like being a foreigner in England must be impossible. Like without speaking English, like it's like going to America.
Yeah.
Bonjour. Do you want fries with that?
Why don't you speak my language?
The language.
I've never been to any actual English-speaking country.
Wait, what?
Gonna change that.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that happened.
Dude, you've traveled... Oh, you have traveled
I haven't
around a
traveled,
lot.
but I haven't traveled to England, nor haven't
So you
traveled to the States. I haven't
Well,
been
any of the other colonies,
India.
yeah, sure.
I haven't been to
What do you mean
Australia.
India? Did you say India? They have another language which is surely their primary language.
It's a colony, man. You know it.
It's one of the 3 legal languages.
Oh. There you go.
There you go.
South Africa. One of them.
Again, not been.
So you haven't been to any of the Western countries?
Australia.
Haven't been.
New Zealand.
Nope.
You're not, because you live down there.
I so want to go to New Zealand. 1 person for every 10 sheep. That's the ratio.
As well as everything else. Like, this is lovely.
You shouldn't go to Ireland then. Their sheep to person ratio is off the fuck.
Is the
Off the fuck?
Is the sheep,
That sounds bad.
is the sheep ratio related to population growth?
No,
Or why?
Of course it
or
is.
why it's
Of
so
course
low?
it is.
No, of course.
Inversely. Exactly. The more sheep
you have, the less people you have, because the men are inclined to fuck the sheep. Exactly.
Haven't you seen Shaun of the Dead?
Oh, God.
It's
I
a
have
real
enough fuck
thing.
material here. I don't need any fucking.
We've been talking English for 3 minutes and we'll be like, fuck off, like all the people who have sheep.
Also, the
all the English speaking all the English speaking nations that might have listened to this. No.
What is this? What is happening?
No, that's actually our normal podcast.
Oh, we're gonna have sheep this Saturday, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
Lamb, baby sheep.
Yeah. Baby sheep, straight from the hood. Actually, straight from the...
I didn't know baby sheep are in the hood.
Dude, you'd be surprised. But no, it's straight from the...
Underground.
No.
Gangster sheep.
It was a gangster baby sheep, and they killed it. Now we're eating it.
I should call it 2-pack.
It's... You actually got 2 legs.
Actually, it's the little legs.
Yeah, you got
Smalls.
2 legs and a 2-pack.
Too bad.
That's too much.
The criminal underage sheep
Oh
are
my
left to
God.
slaughter for people to eat.
The greatest rapper after Tommy Cash and Nublu. Too bad.
Good times. Good stuff.
I think Kara has something to say.
Now you're going after real people. That's
No.
that's not good.
People who know where you live.
Yeah.
That's true.
We already established how Carmen got her name. Just
Yeah.
car and men, the two
Yeah,
stuff.
it was right there.
Yeah, the two things her mom loved the most. Yeah,
Cool.
car and men.
I mean,
Cars
that's
and men. Yeah,
good. That's good. Both are good things.
cars
I prefer cars.
over men.
Yeah. If I had a choice of hanging out with just women and cars, or women and men, I'd definitely choose to hang out with women and cars. Car woman is my new name. And
How do you feel about semen, though?
they mostly spend too much time at sea. Navy fuckers.
Yeah,
None of you been to New Zealand.
nah, not yet.
Okay, we know you haven't. It's a lot like Estonia in not the ways you think. Like the population size is pretty much the same. The sparsity of people. What?
It isn't. The population of New Zealand is the same.
Yeah, I think you guys like 1.3 and they're like 1.5.
Really?
Yeah, they're tiny.
I really thought that they were kind of like in the tens.
No, they're like keeles.
Jamie, check it out.
Yeah, I was thinking the same that they had.
I was really thinking that they're in the 90s.
You're Jamie now.
then.
There's not that many of them. And they're spread out over, I
Okay, it's
guess.
5 million.
Is it really 5?
Nobody has lower than Estonia, basically.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like,
What's the North Island?
What?
even Liechtenstein.
So there's 2 islands of New Zealand. There's North Island and South Island. I don't know why I thought you guys were the same. All this time I thought you guys were the same.
Well, we are same, but different.
Same.
But still same.
5,
But
1.3,
different.
it's just different boroughs in London, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Sure. And also Lord.
Basically a suburb of London.
my point is, it's a very sparse country with not a lot of people.
We're a suburb of
So
Russia.
you've not got a lot of people around and you just kind of like, you hold on to your identity.
Population density is similar.
You hold on to your identity massively.
Do we?
Yes. You have a language.
Dude, as of
It's a
recent,
fucking ridiculous language I'll never learn because let's face it, I'm English. And then, they have the whole Maori traditions and then they have the whole immigrant traditions of the Pakihans, the white people, I don't know, I can't remember what they call it. And but it's amazing. Like they have a whole culture of the tiny, tiny portion of people.
No, but because it's really interesting to get your perspective to this, because right now, like what I see from politics and everywhere is like we're a nation that's really torn apart by like really insignificant questions. Like if we think about like things that are life that matter,
What do you mean insignificant? What's tearing you
gay
apart?
marriage,
dude, the abortion
abortion shit. Then
Do you know about it?
I know kind of.
The pro-abortion, the anti-abortion, the anti-abortion march that like some old people are trying to organize got 140K from the government to fund it, whereas the cancer fund gets like 40K in total for the year.
They're funding a demonstration.
They're funding a demonstration for fucking anti-abortion. Exactly.
Conservative
Just-
whiplash.
Complete fucking nonsense.
Well, the lefts have been going so left. The rights were all like, shit,
Dude, we live...
it's getting out of hand. They might legalize marijuana.
Dude, we live in a fucking Nazi country right now. It's
We're not.
fucking...
No, not worse than
not.
anybody else.
let's not go there.
My country just left Europe. Well, EU, like, Jesus.
By the way, United Nations just accepted that marijuana is not like a criminally
It's decriminalized.
it's decriminalized into like a level of having it used medically,
Dude,
which is the guidelines that all the countries use as their like set of laws or whatever.
If I was in charge, I have the best law. You can only smoke what you grow.
If I was in charge,
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's such a good rule. That removes the whole criminal.
illegal
Yeah.
to smoke.
Yeah, but
whenever
if
you
you-
would grow.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, but 10 Westminster just fucking...
10 Westminster. Is that close to 10 Downing Street?
I'm sorry, I was talking about 10 Downing
You
Street.
could just say the Prime Minister.
Yeah, sure. just past that they're so indoor sex for tier 2 couples is banned now. So couples that don't live together. Yeah, that was a couple of months ago. They don't
about that
because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I heard about that. It's a bit of a crazy time.
Okay.
It is weird.
So I will tell you the main problems, and then for you who does not read Estonian news.
I don't read any news.
Yeah.
Let me make that clear.
No, but it's Estonian news because then
That's part
I
of
don't
the
care.
international news.
Yeah, but
Okay, hit me.
if you don't read any other news that doesn't actually
Well, in Estonia, hit me with the top 10 or top 5.
No, I'm just telling you, the problem is that there's this party in Estonia, and then they're actually trying to pull in the Christian faith into parliament and then the constitutional law. And they're actually saying, we have, our constitutional law and our fundamental values are so fundamentally interlinked with Christian values that we think that, or they think that they should be basically considered as the rule or as a guiding line, how we should provide and how we should make our further laws. And that's the basic that's the basic problem, because there are so many of us who realize that the Estonians are basically the worst people who to say that, we're religious. I think at one point we were the most atheist country in the world.
I'm sure I read that about you.
Yeah. And then
Least
now,
religious, not most atheist.
no,
There's a
we were
difference.
the most atheist.
Least religious.
Most atheist.
How about both? Both
Sure.
are applicable.
Sure.
And now they're trying to say that our core values as a nation,
Are aligned with Christianity.
yes, which is
Complete fucking bullshit.
absolutely.
But
And the people-
140,000 people, no, 140,000 euros. It's like €1 to 140,000.
And the people who are actually saying this have no idea how to talk about religion, because I've read a couple of articles what they wrote. I don't know what religion they have, but they don't have Christianity because they're completely fucking up Christianity. Even I, a person who is not religious, but who has studied a little bit of the Bible, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, knows that they're fucking up everything that is written up in the Bible.
Well, a lot of religious values are good. There's only
They are.
20% of them which are pretty draconian.
I'm not saying that there's anything wrong about Christianity, Buddhism, or anything
No, exactly.
all this shit.
But that's the thing, they come
the
in and
ways that
say-
they're
Twisting it. We're going to be Christian. Oh, so turn the other cheek and let others do unto them, and just chill and be cool with each other. No. We're going to tell everybody else how to live. That's what we meant.
The last article that really ground my gears was that a woman said that, hey, all these Christian fathers who are saying that Christianity is all about love should put down their what's it called? What's the collar? Put down the collars.
Okay.
Because they're not actually representing the faith.
Oh, like the priests, they got the dog collar. I don't know why they still call it a dog collar, but the little white thing.
Yeah. So I was like,
That's fucked, man.
that's the opposite you want to say as a Christian.
The Pope's very chill. He's my kind of Christian at the moment.
But the actual, these people are saying that the Pope is a fake Pope.
Yeah.
And how can, that's my,
But how do you fight against that?
yeah, that's the
Who
point.
do you vote for? Who do you support? What is the movement? Are we
There
just
isn't.
is the
There
left so
isn't.
disorganized that we just
There isn't.
oh, it's too confusing. Let the right with the power and the money take control.
No, my point is that we can get into the politics, which I don't want to get into, but my point is you.
We're already in.
No. My point is
Definitely
actually,
drag us into the top 10.
no. My point is the opposite. Because my point was I had this chat with a taxi driver in June. I think it was in June. And he said that he is afraid to be in this country. He's afraid of being deported. And before he was saying that, hey, all my brethren, hey, all come here, study, use the universities, come here, use extremely nice people and everything to make a living and be a part of the community. Whereas now he is afraid to come here.
This is exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
They don't care about the Christianity rules or whatever. They will just use all the things that will suppress everyone's like freedom or whatever, so that everybody feels like, oh, I'm being controlled. I don't want to come here, especially those that are not from this country.
To do with fear, basically.
Yeah. And my point
is control. Yeah.
And why I wanted to ask this from you is that we're really good friends. We see each other day from day. But I really wanted to get your perspective on this because you're a foreigner.
Yes.
And like, I want to see like, what have you heard or what you think or what like you've actually noticed?
It's
because you've been here for
I
now
feel like you guys
3-4 years?
2 years. It'll be 3 years in May next year. So 2 and a bit.
Yeah.
And a lot of
How is it living in Estonia as a black man?
I have no idea. But as a man,
But I guess one of the things is you are white though, and
also,
you are ginger,
and also English.
Yeah,
which it's crazy. Like when I managed to pull off being Estonian and just like mumble like today or like today we're close and just like gonna do that. Nah, bullshit. People treat you like shit. If I go, morning. Boom! Everyone's smiling. Yeah, what can I get you? Coffee? Blah, 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 blah. It's a better life to be English here than it is to be Estonian. Like, I'm not saying I can pull off Estonian at all, but like, I'm ginger, not black for you. That's at home who misunderstood Mark's interview. Mark's our resident black man, so now you know. But yeah, it's better to be English for sure. And I think there's this whole. I think culturally you look to the West a lot because why wouldn't
we
you?
did.
Yeah, well, you look to the East because you were being forced to, and then you're like, God damn, it's time to look to the West, and then kind of copied it for too long because the West wasn't actually such a model of good ideas either. But I think the other thing you have is the critical mass here. That's the biggest thing I see change. Like the public opinion about anything can move really scarily fast.
Because
like,
it's a small country.
Exactly. It doesn't take a lot of people to convince. You can move things really, really quickly. I love it.
It's gonna chime 11 times, man.
This is a nice background.
Nobody on video calls that man. Like I recently, I realized that they were all there. I was like, they were like, "What is that?" I was like, "Oh, it's my clock." That's your clock. I think they all. I don't know how it comes through on microphones, but I think they all thought there was just like someone was being adopted by anyone.
Okay, sorry, man, but it's like I really love that clock.
I love that clock too. But
It's a nice chime.
Yeah,
it is a nice chime.
Yeah.
Very chill.
So
It's churchy, but it's not.
Yeah, right. It could be a distant cathedral.
if you would amplify it,
And here, like,
Crazy.
for all of you who don't know, we are in
a church.
Tallinn, fucking Old Town, which is one of the best preserved medieval towns. It's under UNESCO protection.
We're literally in a church right now.
Are we vandalizing?
Wait, are we? No, it was a commercial building.
Yeah, this is commercially licensed. We didn't get any listed protections, I don't think. I don't think we can put...
No, we've become Christian. This is the new thing. This is the studio. Actually, we're Christian.
Do we have a religion?
Yeah, Christianity. According to Wikipedia.
Like, I'm almost a Christian, except for the whole, like...
No,
Christianity.
No, I buy into a lot of it. Because it's pretty much aligns with a lot of the other ones. Like, it's cool. There's a lot of good stories in that. But it's just the whole, like, spirit, like, the
idea is better than what the institution
the fantasy
says.
shit. I mean,
Yeah,
shit, like
yeah.
the afterlife, heaven and hell, like the old stories, like about this is how the world is made. Like they're good stories, but they're stories. Like I'm a Christian in the sense that I believe when we die, it's done.
I love the idea that Jesus was actually...
Dude.
That's it.
That's not being a Christian.
Exactly, but I'm very. I behave like a Christian, kind of, except I'm not. I'm like
Dude, all religion is the same anyway. So
You can define yourself as whatever you want. Like this is fine.
That's gonna hurt a lot of
totally
people.
fine.
well, yeah, I don't want to. Well, how many people actually listen to this? I think we're okay.
That is true.
A few people.
Although, yeah.
This is the one that goes viral.
You can totally define yourself however you want.
Because I identify myself as Christian, but I'm not far from what a Christian would say as Christian. I don't really think about it. Do you guys think?
Wait,
do you define
what
yourself?
Christian would say? Who's Christian? Christian Bale?
Yes, I think Christian Bale would be like, you're a lot like me. You meet with Batman.
You're a Christian now.
You're Christian. That's not what I meant. Do you guys
born in the darkness.
do you guys define yourselves as religious in any way? Like, do you even think about whether you're atheist or agnostic or whatever?
Spiritual, more likely.
But do you think about it, or do you just?
Yeah, of course I think about it.
No, but do you think about the label?
No, I hate the labels.
Yeah, just fuck the labels.
Yeah,
Just live your
fuck
life.
that. Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant.
That's kind of the
your
point.
definition as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I think most of what Christians align to, most of what Islam or Judaism or whatever, it's like, well, most people who are just like, yeah, just be cool to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep it chill.
Yeah, and you can interpret the texts or the teachings however you want.
This brings me
It's for
so
you.
much back to the same text I was reading this morning about medieval times, the church, how people lived. Jesus Christ.
It doesn't work like if you say something that is like, inclined to be said.
So I helped my girlfriend do her Manchester's work. Just some random homework, and
rat her out cheating. Like, she does it herself.
no, I helped her. She did it to herself, but I helped her by analyzing some text for her. But like the idea is, the lecture is about how people throughout times have developed. Have developed different types of different modes of learning and different types of thought through that. So this particular chapter in that book, we talked about how people, like what the zeitgeist thinking pattern was during that time. So Middle Ages, basically. So not early, not high Middle Ages, but just Middle Ages. So 15th century witch hunts and all that shit. And it was mostly focused on France. 15th century? Oh, it is, yeah. That is true. So
We did this whole thing today.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was good times. We got to Hickham's dictum and Occam's razor.
Very good. Very good.
You were the one struggling with Hickham's dictum. You're in your fucking office doing sound checks like Hickham's dick, biggest dickus.
It's a good way to do a sound check. Oh, Life of Brian was so good.
Oh, it was biggest
Biggest
dickus.
dickus.
Awesome. Legendary.
So for those of you at home who know about Occam's razor and Hickham's dictum,
Dictum.
I don't know what that is.
so do you know Occam's razor?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is Occam's razor?
So
Anything.
the most probable thing that
So-
is real should be the probable thing.
It's so the easiest solution to a problem
Most probable thing
is probably the best solution.
Yeah, that's the simplest explanation is the most likely to be the correct
It
explanation.
like
That's just what I said.
I think we recorded
I'm
this.
kidding you.
I think we have evidence.
I'm
to the-
kidding.
I know this because of
How gleeful we are.
UFO sightings. This is what applies.
Okay, what's more likely?
Yeah, what's more likely? Is it fucking aliens or is it like some satellite or some?
So Hickham's dictum is
Something
the
simpler.
complete
This is
opposite.
it. Yeah, Hickham's dictum came. So when did Occam's razor come?
Oh,
that
that's
was
the
what you were
opposite.
That was Middle Ages.
And that was one of the
That sounds-
founding thoughts of the
sounds like a
Middle
fake.
Ages.
No, he was one of the more profound thinkers of the Middle Ages. But yeah, but like the one
And
of the
then
most prevailing thought. The most prevailing thought was kill the witches.
Hickham's dictum came when?
Hickham's dictum?
Yeah,
I have no idea when that emerged.
but later, I think.
Yeah,
And basically, he was a guy basically like the House of his time, Dr. House. And then he realized just the fucking chaos that exists in the universe, particularly the human body, which is fucking chaotic. And then was like, no, if you're like doing triage and whatever, often it's the most chaotic, like random shit that causes the biggest problem. You might start treating symptoms and stuff, which seem like simple, but often it's the most random shit, which actually has the biggest cause. And I think there's a lot, like everyone is always like, Occam's razor, yeah, but it's obviously the path of like the simplest solution is always the right solution. It's like, no, it's fucking not. The world is nuts.
I think it matters a lot what you're dealing with as well. Like if it's a fucking human body you're trying to heal, probably don't apply Occam's razor and think
Just use healing spells.
Oh, put a plaster on, it's a fucking sword wound. Then you're like, no.
Exactly. But anyway, I always get when people get too attached to idioms, like
This is my life philosophy.
People in general have learned Occam's razor in the last 2 to 3 years. It's been in the general consciousness. Now everybody's actually using it. Like, oh yeah, it's the Occam razor.
Well, apparently it's one of the founding thoughts of not founding, but one of the great thinkers of medieval times. I definitely learned
one of the founding thoughts of medieval times. That sounds so.
I think it is. It's just like I don't know what they were thinking about.
No, what
were they thinking about?
The dude was just one of the most known thinkers of that time. It's just that's it.
Occam.
When this was actually perceived,
15th century.
Yeah, you looked at 1400s.
You looked it up.
Yeah.
I do not believe.
You should come into the space earlier in the morning, man. Like we have great chats before we get wasted, and then lunch.
Because if that's so well perceived, then I do not understand. Like it's, I think the man is called Thomas Mann. Thomas Mann.
It kind of sounds like a man.
The guy who made the first literature basically off of economics. And then the thing that he said was that once the laws and restrictions start to interfere with business, then the business will find another way. And that is basically, that was one of the first laws of business. And it really applies to everything.
Wait, when do you think Occam's razor would have been thought of then?
You thought it was 1400s.
I would think it's later on.
Okay, so I was actually wrong. William of Ockham lived 1287 to 1347, so it was earlier. And so it was 13th, 14th
He
century.
coined the thing.
Yeah.
When did Hickam do his Dickum?
Hickam Dickum.
Wait, William of Ockham coined the term.
Occam's razor sounds really good. And it was like, you're going to say Hickham's dictus. Like,
Whatever.
Occam's razor is clearly the one.
No, is Occam's razor the term coined in the 1200s?
Well, it was his definition, right? Like he wrote a whole thing. So I guess he wrote it. Maybe he scratched.
The phrase Occam's razor did not appear until a few centuries after William of Ockham's death in 1347.
Just about to say.
Libert Frodimont, in his On Christianity Philosophy of the Soul, takes credit for the phrase, speaking of Novacula Occami. What the fuck? Occam did not invent this principle, but the razor and its association with him may be due to the frequency and effectiveness with which is what it was used.
Witches?
Witches, yeah.
Burn them.
Blah, 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 blah. Was from... wait, what?
So I'm right, it's not coined.
Sure, whatever.
In the present thinking of...
The thing is, fuck the term. The thought pattern itself was from that time.
No, it wasn't. You just said it was 2 centuries afterwards.
Yeah, but we also found
the term.
It was 2 centuries before we thought it was that he came up with it. We thought it was 1400s. He came up with it in the 1200s.
No, he was in the 1200s.
Yeah, that's when he came up.
And he was actually in the 1375. That was what he
When it
read.
became one,
Sure.
people read it and were like, "This is actually."
You are correct.
500 years ago or whatever.
Point is, life is crazy.
It is chaos. It is chaos, but it has to be organized chaos. Isn't that the point?
I don't know. It doesn't feel that organized sometimes. Feels nice
Because that's your own responsibility, man.
to organize shit.
Yeah, your own chaos.
Maybe. I don't know, like evolution, look at evolution. It seems like we look back on it and we're like, oh, that's really logical, but that's fucking chaotic.
Is there a design to it? Do you think?
No, it's more like you know about machine learning?
Mm-hmm.
And then so like if I want to design an awesome exhaust pipe for my new motorbike, instead of trying to do all the maths on making like the same length of the tubes and keeping the distance apart so the heat doesn't interfere and they don't wear too fast, but everything needs to be the same length from each cylinder and then joined in the same place. So I have to make one which is a cylinder slightly further from the back of the car, a bit shorter than the one that's coming from the back cylinder, which is a bit... Anyway, so basically you have loads of fucking maths, and it's really complicated maths because things are turning and bending. So what does AI do and machine learning? Just millions and billions of random ideas, of which most of them are utter shit, but occasionally they luck out. It's like the whole infinite number of monkeys with typewriter will eventually write the Gideon Bible or whatever that phrase was.
Shakespearean shit.
Shakespeare didn't write a Bible.
No, the monkeys.
Oh, we'll write Shakespeare. Yeah. They write anything. There's an infinite number of them. They write everything. And that's the whole thing. You just
That's
throw
the thing.
that
Like
power
if you throw infinite number of protons at a planet, then it will eventually prop up a Tesla.
Cool.
That was also
Infinite I'm with that.
Yeah.
But isn't that
Why wouldn't it?
but isn't that the same though?
No, because there's Occam's razor, which is like
No, I'm talking about organized
You're just
chaos.
saying there's this randomized.
No, I'm talking about organized chaos in the sense that you have one specific task. You have a goal in life you want to get to.
Okay.
You try again, you fail, you try again, you fail, you try again. That's random, like semi-random stuff you're doing in order to get to that place. In the process, you learn more. You gain more experience. You learn what to go for and what to not go for, what to reject, what to accept. And you keep going until you get there.
But then saying that's the simplest.
It's organized chaos because you're working within the framework.
I'm just with Occam's razor.
But no.
Okay.
Not at all. Aren't we past that?
No, I thought we were talking about.
Oh shit, I thought we were past that.
What are we talking about now? Organized chaos?
Yeah.
I'm totally for
It's
it.
life, man. Because I asked you if there's a design to it.
Things before TED Talks, they used to have the Christmas lectures in the UK, which was like, they would get really good scientists and they'd put it on TV. And my dad would buy me like the VCR cassettes of like the Christmas lectures from the year and give it to me as a present. And I'd watch these things. It was like watching TED Talks. And there was a guy who did this organized chaos thing. And this was like early days of computers. Yeah, I'm a bit older. And basically he has like some square discs in front of him. They were all black. And he was like, okay, so I can turn one over and move in this direction. Now, if the next one I turn is black, I'm going to turn right. If it's white, I'm going to turn left. And so he moves to the next one. He turned it over. It was white. So he kept moving it. And eventually, like, one made a turn because he got to the edge of the thing. And then they started coming back. And it was just this random, chaotic pattern. And he's like, no, let me put that into a computer simulation. And he put it into a computer. And he played it out for, like, millions of iterations. And it was just random fucking shit for so long. And then suddenly, there was this repeating pattern that just came out of it. And there was no simple explanation for it. It was organized chaos for sure. I mean, that is chaos theory. It's the idea that there is organization in chaos. But it was so weird to just watch this thing that looked utterly chaotic, like an organism, just bizarre, random shit, suddenly just find a solution. But after millions of iterations, it's like, I can't wait till like they get the whole quantum computing shit worked out. And they're like, oh no, pi? It repeats eventually. It's like 3.14159256.
Yeah.
I got the first punch right, and then I gave up. But I just love that. But that is order and chaos. That's not Occam's razor, though. Occam's razor is saying the simplest explanation is the right.
Yeah.
The simplest explanation was not that after all this chaos, for as long as you can possibly remember, suddenly things take pattern. That's not a simple explanation. That's just the randomness of chaos kind of coherent.
Yeah. I thought we were past that because you said it's all chaotic, and I asked you if there's a design to it, if you think.
I got you.
And then we got to the organized chaos. Because I think that's a microcosm of life, basically what you just described.
It is.
And it's like, which kind of brings me back to the same point that the conclusion we came to, one of the conclusions we came to today, this morning while discussing the medieval shit was why we attribute names to stuff. Yeah. Why we attribute...
People love labels.
No, but like also personalities to stuff.
Matter.
Exactly.
You will talk to that. You will talk to that wall. He needs some paint. He looks like he needs some paint on it.
Yeah.
But we personify things. Like, I know the things I've done with this microphone. nothing like that. But like, I know we've been through some shit. So I look after a little bit more. I kind of like, I'm sorry I dented you right here.
Yeah.
Like, sorry. I actually feel empathy for this fucking object. Maybe I'm a psychopath, or maybe actually humans are weird.
No.
If you were a psychopath, you would be
aware,
able to feel empathy. That's the basis of being a psychopath.
They do for their possessions. So a psychopath, a psychopath would not mourn like a family member's death or like a lover's death, but a dog's death, because a dog is a subservient thing. A psychopath. There's a great book by Joe Rogan called
It's not empathy though.
No, it is. It's empathy, but it's
a great book by Joe Rogan.
No, did I say that?
Yeah,
Can he even write? Joe Rogan.
Yeah, that I was like, what?
Can I just say though? There's a reason I said that. The author of the Psychopath Essays,
was
John Ronson.
Yeah,
okay,
very fucking close to Joe Rogan. I think it's because we're recording a podcast. I don't know. Thank you for agreeing. John Ronson.
Even in Silence of the Lambs, Buffalo Bill gets really, really angry when his dog is being threatened.
Yeah,
he gets so angry, and that's the only thing he like cares about. Is like,
but he cares.
Fuck this girl because she wants to get free. Your mother. I don't care about that. My dog.
Yeah. Don't you think it's like overdue thing for when we're actually thinking that trees and rocks and everything have spirit? And then we're like inclined to thinking that everything that we're interacting with actually has a spirit and a soul. And that's like when we're actually interacting with something and we hold dear to, then we're actually thinking that it has a soul, it has something that...
Well, if you go to a cellular level, you're not so far off from a tree anyways, so...
I was not going to a cellular level.
Yeah. I actually embraced that. And much to my fiance's hate, not hate, I know it pisses her off that like, I love old things that need fixing because I know by fixing them, I'm putting some soul into them and they have meaning to me.
And they have much more soul than the mass-produced shit.
Right, exactly. Like a repaired thing or a fixed thing. Like we built this kitchen and I was just saying to you when I was making like the kitchen's pretty cool, but we probably could have paid for a better kitchen. But I fucking love our kitchen because we fucking made it.
It's like
I will fight for that kitchen.
It's like you have an old car.
I love old cars for the same reason.
And then it has its fuck-ups and it does have like, it's like, I had a car that had like a one, what you call it, like, which you throw the window down.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's a window handle.
Window handle or whatever.
What is it called?
It was a window winder, yeah. It was a two-door car which you could throw down the seats
and garden with a plastic. Spoiler alert!
No,
with a plastic. No, you didn't break that window.
No. That has 4 doors.
Okay,
but that was a 2-door one, and then it had one window scroller for the 2 doors, and then it had no stereo. It had nothing. But I loved the thing. It like carried me through the things, and I carried it to the maximum.
Yeah, your first car, the freedom it gives you.
Yeah, I took it out to the maximum. I took everything out of it. Like it went to 170 kilometers per hour. It shouldn't have, but it did. And Christopher was fucking scared.
I would have been too.
I think he little bit shit his pants.
Yeah, I almost died because of sand, though.
Who hasn't?
Yeah.
Because of sand?
Samwise
Gamgee. You know the guy. There was an old schoolmate.
The guy who sucked dick for 10 crowns.
I can't carry the ring, but I can carry you. That guy?
Yeah. But no.
But
think of Sam.
He's a really sweet guy.
Really sweet guy, but dumb as a fucking donkey, man.
No, he isn't. Not
anymore, but he used to be. The shit we did as kids, everyone's got those stories, though.
For sure, man. Kids is mad time. I'm glad we don't remember it well.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if you remembered childhood with the clarity that you remember it when you're a kid. Because you really know what's going on when you're a kid. But then you kind of get through adolescence and you kind of forget about it. I'm glad I don't remember most of it.
Hannes is like, I remember everything.
Yeah, but even if you do, you still remember it differently than it actually was.
No, always.
It's always like this.
I mean, that's just memory, right?
The human mind is so unreliable, it's the same.
I remember things that have happened 20 years ago much better than I do things that happened a week ago.
But those things you remember from 20 years ago are not what happened. Guaranteed. Even if it's just like the difference in the color of shirt or whatever.
No,
'Cause you
that's not the point. I'm not going for the color of the thing or.
No, but it's the feeling and the emotion of the people. Like, it's crazy how much the mind fucks it. It's a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy.
And also,
every time you take the photocopy, it seems sharper, but it's more contrasted and lost detail. And then before you know it, it's just made up. Like the human mind.
I know
is
what
fucked.
you mean, but I've tested it to. I know. I don't want to get into it.
No, but like Harvard and shit. Like there was a Harvard, some Harvard lawyer that basically ran that as their criminal defense.
Yeah.
That the eyewitnesses
yeah.
couldn't possibly
That's why they
remember
are
correctly.
absolutely unreliable. Yeah.
And they're just, and it's kind of become the norm now. Like you can't really rely on eyewitnesses
No,
because
that I agree with because like
you're the eyewitness for your own life.
yeah, but that's a different thing.
No, it's not.
It isn't. Like, okay,
Wait, that was a dumb.
It was. Oh my god.
Do you agree with me?
We can never test this, so there's no point arguing.
No. There's a
We
difference.
could.
We would need like photographic
Guys,
evidence,
see you in 5 years.
Okay, there's a really big difference.
When we complete the game and we're all seeing the reality, once we're out of the simulation, we can look back and see if we were right about this.
There's a really big difference between
Rewind it.
if I kill, like, if we're on the streets and there's like multiple people out there, and then somebody, like, if we're the four of us, we're out there just walking about and we're going to a restaurant, like out for dinner and such, and then a random person comes in and kills Carl for whatever reason, and then just jumps out, kills Carl, then just runs off, and then the policeman comes off. Us three, we will have three different stories about who came up, how they killed him, what color of shoes they were wearing, what gender were they, whatever. Because it was a sudden thing that happened to us rather than the story of a thing.
But leave us in the same room for like even half an hour and we'll start unifying our stories just by natural instinct. And if you do that over long enough time, like, who killed Carl? Dude, sorry.
There was
I don't care. I'm
We will
dead.
all have the same. We will all have the same fucking story within 10 years, even though we know that we've all had a different story. Like, that's the whole point of this stuff. Like,
But that's my point. Like, if we start off and we're like actually not in the same rooms, and we're describing the event that happens. Sorry, Carl, for saying your death is an event, but you're just sitting opposite of me.
it would be an event.
Like,
It would be.
Yeah, it's
I
not
would
just-
expect it to be an event.
Yeah, I would remember.
Yeah,
I would remember. I guarantee I would remember.
We would
Yeah.
party. We would not be.
Well, no, I wouldn't.
No depression.
No, I wouldn't.
We would be gleeful.
Yes, gleeful party.
I wouldn't party at your murder. I would wait until like the funeral or whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
Not celebrating
I
with that.
yeah, he died right in front of my eyes. Let's drink, guys.
I would have some words for your older sister.
Dude, let's not go there.
Yeah.
No, let's go there.
No. But my point is.
What was that? That was awesome.
Dude, no.
But my point
People
is.
listen to this shit.
Yeah, they do. That's good. They should.
No, just no. Don't.
And my point is that if we go into several rooms and we would tell the story of Carl's death, the magnificent death of Carl, then
It was magnificent now.
You jumped in front of a bullet to save Mark.
yeah,
I was stabbed. Wasn't I a random person?
that's what I'm telling you.
That was later when you were.
What happened after they shot you?
Three different stories. In mine, you're.
It was magnificent how he died.
In mine, you're a
But he
gleeful
wasn't afraid
hero.
though. But he died magnificently.
In mine, you're a gleeful hero who jumped in front of a knife.
I was
in
happy
Ollie's-
to die now.
In Ollie's, you're a mystified hero who somehow randomly stumbled upon a bullet.
Yeah, and
In March,
died
you
in Santa
probably
Claus's hands.
you sneezed and hit your head, and then hit your head on a fucking what's it called, like a street stone? What's
Curb.
curb? Yeah,
American History X.
yeah.
Oh, he got curbs.
That's actually happened here. Like, that's fucked up.
Someone curb stomped someone here.
Yeah, I know,
God.
I know somebody who went
American
to
History
jail.
X, man.
But
Yes.
But
that's
we would have our own stories. We would have our own stories, and like I wouldn't think that we would like somehow melt them together, because I wouldn't. Like, I would be like, yeah, that's what I saw. That's what I think. Like, you might be like, hey, that's what happened actually. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool that you think that, but
We should run an
That's what I
experiment. though.
There are no experiments are being run.
and that's where we come into your experiment, which I should not mention,
No, I
right?
think we can mention it, but let me first
We
tell you
can?
the inspiration behind that.
Okay,
story.
go ahead.
So, Answers with Joe, just a shout out in case you're listening, Joe. You're awesome. You're the best Joe on the internet.
No.
Answers with, I think it's
Then I can.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I can hashtag it if you actually say it.
Okay, hashtag Answers with Joe. He's a YouTube guy. He's mainly, he started off with physics. He's a super smart guy. And every week he's researching a lot of shit. I think he's got a big team now, but
Can I somehow remember? Oh, I know how to.
you might have to listen to it back. But I'll also just tell you again, because I've definitely told you before. Anyway, Answers with Joe. And he was doing it was 5 reasons you can't trust your friend, and it was one of his lighter ones, but it was really fucking good. And it's this whole idea that we are so keen to fit in with the group that very few people rebel against it. And so there were these experiments done, to your point, where they would put 7 people in a room, or how many? I don't know. I think it was 7, but 7 people in a room, and 6 of them were actors. One of them was the person who's being experimented on. And they would ask them a question. And go, so to answer the question, they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They'd put him in kind of near the end. And then ask the question he definitely knew the answer to. Okay, we're going to show you an image. And so what colour was the flower? And then everyone's blue. Bluish green, greenish blue. And then it comes to you. You know it was red. Everybody else told you that. And just to fit in, out of desire, not knowing why you're being asked these questions, an overwhelming proportion of people say it's blue. They just can't resist the feeling of the thing. And so that was then what inspired me to work out the perfect murder.
Oh yeah.
What was Ask?
Answers with Joe.
There you go. I didn't remember it.
I mean, do we talk about the perfect murder now, or do we wait?
We should do the experiment and then reveal what it was.
I think for the fabulous listeners that actually still listen to your podcast, they deserve to know the whole thing.
Sure, go for it. I mean, it's your idea, man.
So there's not enough time for the perfect murder.
No, I'm just saying.
It is
we
enough
have
time.
our listeners. We actually have listeners, you know.
I honestly don't. I know you don't know how many you have either because you choose not to track.
No, but I know that we have.
Okay.
We have above 50 listeners each episode.
Okay, cool.
At least. No,
Okay,
that's what I know.
Let's do. Okay, well, if they've lasted this long, they deserve
that's
to know
something.
the big story. Please don't make this if you hear this. We want to make it. But if you want to make it, come to less than 3 spaces, by Brutal Gate, Brutal 19. You're very welcome. It's another half hour gone. You'll hear the clock. So,
Also, it is a registered IP now. We have it timestamped here.
there we go. It's worth saying it. Right. So the plan is we want to do public service announcement. I want to. I think it's very important to give back to the community, fight against the Christian fakes, and get people to think for themselves. Think of yourself as a really good thing. So here's the plan. If you want to commit the perfect murder, how do you do it? Well, you don't want to actually physically touch anybody. You got to mentally fuck with them and make them kill themselves. So you track the person. The 4 of us could easily do this, but it's easier with attractive women because everybody, you want to be
we
attractive.
track them.
No. So let's say we wanted to target a man. Let's say we want to target Carl.
No,
Sure.
Back from the dead.
Yeah.
No, we want to target Carl. It's not us. It's people he doesn't know. And people he doesn't know, plus a couple of women that just can't help but look at. And then they're all standing at a red light. And then a bus is coming.
You're already going into it. I'm just saying, if we want to commit a perfect murder, then all
Probably
3
shouldn't
of
talk
us.
about it.
3 of us, then we
Want to keep it a secret?
we find,
Podcast it.
we find the target. All 3 of us, we find a target.
I think it would. No, the perfect murder doesn't. You can't have a motive. So the
That's
whole
what
point
I'm
is to find the
saying.
target. We just walk around.
And that's what I'm saying. All 3 of us, we find.
Then we see somebody, and they're usually at the right place at the right time on their phone. This is important at a pedestrian crossing. One of the Estonian control ones, which are very strict, and Estonians drive way too fast and run red lights all the time because
we're Estonians.
Yeah, it's yellow until it turns red, and then maybe stop. Maybe we'll just go for it. I don't really know the rule, but anyway. So you see someone particularly on their phone, and you go and surround them one at a time, not at the same time. Just look, waiting across the road. Then you all step out together, not quite at the same time, but as though it's just turned green, especially with the sexy lady right in front of them. And then just start a little bit of momentum and then jump back. guarantee you that person takes 2 more steps before they realize what the fuck is going on, and they get hit by the bus, dead. But what we're going to do is fake that, like the bus part especially, maybe do some hidden camera stuff, and kind of get some random strangers to walk into a street because they refuse to fucking think for themselves. And then at the end of that, remind people how important it is to think for yourself, because other people are stupid, because great minds think alike, as everyone says, but fools seldom differ, which nobody fucking says, which is the second half of that fucking phrase. Everyone's like, great minds think alike, but fools seldom differ. If that's my note for today, that should be it. There we go. So yeah, I've had my rant. Back to whiskey.
Yes, cheers to that.
Cheers. A public service announcement.
By less than 3. Where's your thingy?
I was actually making something useful.
Notes?
Yeah.
That is useful. Thank you. We were talking.
But in my...
None of us was anyway, sorry. I got a bit high.
I was listening. That's also part of the conversation.
I love the idea. And I think we can get the Tallinn autobus and trolley, whatever company or whatever it's called, TTAK.
Isn't it privatized now?
No. I think if we talk with them and tell us like, hey, that's a free commercial for you guys. We just want to use one of your, whatever it is, things.
One of your buses for a joyride.
For a thing. But I think that the perfect place to actually film it is the circle here, right here in the Viru.
Yeah, I was also imagining this.
Because that's the place that almost every Estonian knows. Even if you haven't been to Tallinn, then you know the place because... Yeah, because that's the place you know.
Because people prank them and make them jump under buses constantly.
But I think like if we actually cooperate with it with the Estonian police and the Estonian like the Tallinn trolley and autobus company, then it's actually doable.
I agree that we should make a prototype video.
Why cooperate for money?
No,
Why do you bring it on?
it's just that we can get the legitimacy and they will back it so that it will actually be seen by people. So that they will show it and they will
This is why you had
enforce
a
it.
marketing, bro.
It's not that they would give us money or anything. That's because
No,
they
I
would
wasn't
back
talking
it
about
and
it. No.
that actually they would
guess
show
more
it.
visibility.
It's a
show
PSA.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to do our own PSAs. I don't want their fucking names on it.
No,
We're not
it's
doing
our,
it. We're not doing it. To
we are
protect-
doing
no,
it.
We're not doing it to protect you from traffic. It's a metaphor.
I know what you're doing.
Cool.
But I
now-
want it because on the
look,
trolleys and on the buses they have their screens and shit, and I want it to be shown on that.
Oh shit, that'd be amazing.
You do realize
That's what I'm saying. Like if we cooperate with them, if we cooperate with them, then it can be shown on those screens. That's my point.
Okay, the only way I'll possibly cooperate with them now that you've presented that as an option is if you can get it shown on the trams. With our logo, very specifically, like a public service announcement from less than 3, like with the heart.
Yeah.
Okay, done deal. They're in.
Otherwise, I'm not signing anything.
No, because I think we should just make it for the fun of it.
Yeah, we can make it for the fun of it, but if we're...
Because he can make buses.
I
I pointed at Carl, by the way, who's a very talented 3D
Artist.
designer.
Yeah.
Artist.
And the thing that I shared with you this night, you remember the Instagram post or the TikTok post or whatever it was?
Yeah.
That was the perfect thing to visualize the difference between photographers and visual artists. Because for me, it was like, that is so true.
Not visual artists, visual effects artists.
Yes, visual effects artists. Sorry, I don't know the
Because
language.
photographers are also visual artists.
Yeah, but anyway,
it's a visual medium.
the thing what I for those listening, as is you all of you, the thing that I showed Carl was like there was a guy standing in front of a building, a really cool building, and he was throwing down this like smoke bomb, which was kind of pinkish in the smoke and stuff. And it's like what photographers do. It was a pinkish smoke, and that's you've all seen the pictures that photographers do with this pink, like whatever colored smoke, and then they're like, "Oh, that's this cool shot," and blah blah blah. And then it's like, oh, and a visual effects artist. And then the fucking smoke, which was kind of the same color, but kind of in hue with similar colors, came out of all floors, windows, edges, and crevices of the building, which is basically what you can do with visual effects. And that was in my opinion, the coolest way to show what the visual effects guys can actually do. And I know that the thing that they did in the video wasn't that difficult. It was pretty much mapping out the building and then like putting in the thing. But that shows where we've come with the technology and everything, that where photography and visual effects, everything comes together.
Yes.
But as you're back now, I would love to have police and the bus people and everything like share the thing that we do, because then it's actually of use. Like if we share it like on our social media, and if we do that, like, yeah, there's like a thing, maybe it will get a little bit of viral. We will get like a little bit of views. But if we get like them interlinked with it, then, you know.
Yeah, I'm with you, man.
That's the point.
No, you're right. You are right.
I don't want them to give us a hand, but I want them to
help us with our messaging.
To get the message out there.
Otherwise, what's the point? I'm with you. I just hate that shit. I don't know. It's like the opposite. Like, you were talking about like economists earlier, like free market economics, and the way my business will always find a way, if it's allowed to. And I wish that like free market, like a pure free market social media, democratized whatever social media platform existed, where it was, you know, each post was judged for its own integrity rather than all of the fucking collateral that came with it. Like Kim Kardashian has posted it, therefore it must be worth 1 million views.
I know what you mean.
And I kind of just wish that, but it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in economics. It doesn't exist in social media.
Yet.
But that's why I just like, I'll make it, you share it.
But the point is like, I love your idea of thinking. That's what I'm thinking always. Like my Instagram is not my name. Like if you want to find me on Instagram, you can't find me. Pretty much. No, you have to know to find me on Instagram. Like otherwise, you're not finding me on Instagram.
That's good.
And that's on point, and that's on purpose, because I'm always thinking that I'm like my account is not private, it's public. But you have to find me to figure out who I am. Good. Because I'm doing my shit. I'm doing all the shit. And I'm always thinking like, if what I'm doing, what I'm sharing is somehow like for people, or people find it amusing or entertaining or whatever, then they will follow it. I will never like do hashtags or paid something like that. If they like it, then they like it. If they don't like it, then they don't like it. And it's not for me. It's not for who I know or for something like that. It's for the content that I share. And that's what you're speaking of. It's like if you're doing a public announcement, that's like you want to do it for the public, the thing.
Yeah, the people. No, I'm with you. But this is the first time in my life I actually want to share some shit that I'm doing with random strangers.
With that, it's like if you want something to be actually out there for a specific reason, then it's really good to actually share it with the people who it's meant to help. And in this instance, it's the people with the bus and the trolley companies and with the police people. Yeah, because it's actually for them, and we're doing it for them for no fees, nothing. We're just asking them to, hey guys, we're doing this, please share, and we hope that it's of use to you.
At least that's what we tell them.
No, but
actually, in actual fact, it's got nothing to do with them.
No, it's nothing but it is.
Well,
but it is, because
how many pedestrians have walked in front of trams this year?
Don't know.
Recently, a really famous person died.
Shit, Gaudi?
No, in Estonia. Like a person.
You know that's how Gaudi died.
He didn't.
No, you did. Continue. Famous Estonian died in front of a tram.
Gaudi is not a person. Estonian person.
He's long dead.
Yeah.
Sorry, he's the only person I've ever heard of who died by stepping in front of a tram.
An Estonian actor died in front of a train. Can't remember.
A train or a tram?
Train.
It's
It was
different.
near you, actually.
What?
Yeah.
There is a train line near you. It's not that unlikely.
It's right fucking across the street.
Yeah, it was actually near you. He died.
Wow.
Can't remember the name. It was a male
Carl?
actor. No. He just
I'm
stepped
here,
in front of a train.
dude.
Oh, on purpose.
We don't know. Who can know? You can't know.
You kind of can.
You can't.
You can't.
Like, oh man, this is so shit.
That's the
Imagine
thing with.
in
That's the
England-
thing
in
with.
England, like the number of times the train was shut down because somebody had jumped in front of the lines. And the trouble,
Did they jump though?
yeah, no, a lot of the times they did. And you know, you can kind of, there are ways you can kind of tell, like they're standing there and they wait and they jump. And it's a classic way to, but the trouble was is everybody on the train, like the first time you get delayed by it, you're like, oh man, you kind of feel real empathy. But you become one of these fucking people who's just like,
Ah, shit.
fucking jumpers. Like, if you're going to kill yourself, like, why inconvenience the rest of us? And you literally hear people on the
that's
train
in
having
London.
that conversation.
But that's in London.
It's in England, actually. It's just like getting into London. And it's like, how the fuck
But that's
did that
because
become
there's so many
humanity?
people.
Yeah, so everyone's so anonymous.
Yeah.
And that's
And that's
why
the
you
problem.
and the New Zealanders are fucking awesome.
But
Let's
that's-
bring this back around. This is why I love Estonia, because actually everybody does kind of matter and you guys all look out for each other. To a point.
Every thorn counts.
Every thumb counts.
Every thorn, yeah.
That's,
That was the slogan the Estonian army used.
Is it army?
It's the Estonian Defense Force, if you want to be official about
Because you're always fucking anal about it with me.
No, but they're actually pointing out that we're not attacking, we're just defending.
Yeah, no.
Not the
but-
Estonian Defense Force.
Yeah, that's why the Japanese have a defense force as well.
No, because I want to point it out.
Sure, man.
Wait,
Because
why
we-
relate that to Japanese? They didn't just stay home. That's half the reason
They were forced to stay home.
Wait, let's not go there.
Yeah.
But every thought counts. So the whole point of
So-
you guys
so-
is to be such
so-
a prickly fucking
No.
creature that
So,
nobody wants to
'cause
attack you.
one of-
What that's a doobie.
That is indeed.
I speak Estonian.
How is the thing called?
So fucking.
Porcupine.
No, it's not a fucking porcupine.
No, but
it's a
Operation
hedgehog.
Porcupine was a thing.
It's a
Operation
he- no.
Porcupine was a thing.
Porcupine.
It's a hedgehog.
a hedgehog, yes.
So the point was that since the hedgehog is such a common animal here,
Wait. Can we take a moment? I knew the Estonian word for hedgehog. It was
That's
seal. Yeah.
Hydra.
Yeah.
He's also-
so
I didn't expect that.
Seal Sonic. That's why. I'm so sorry. I found it out yesterday
How
at
did-
Thanksgiving.
good,
when
man.
There was
No,
children around.
You're doing good.
And basically, Lars was like, sorry to name call you. He's too young. Anyway,
He cannot understand.
basically he's like, my dad loves Seal Sonic. And then dad was like, gin and tonic.
Wow.
I just
Nice.
fucking love that.
Nice. Holy shit.
That's pretty good. That is pretty good. So, anyways, the Estonian Defense Force
Mascot.
as a no,
Sonic the
it's.
Hedgehog. Okay, I'm sorry.
I will not continue
I'm
anymore.
sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
no.
No, but the point is to be no.
Too many distractions.
There was Operation Porcupine.
That's how I feel whenever I start talking something. So fucking deal with it.
There was Operation Porcupine, which was like Estonia and NATO's defense. I remember hearing some English soldiers I knew.
That was Operation Hedgehog.
Porcupine. Is it hedgehog? I feel I would.
Okay, go with porcupine. Sure. Describe it, please.
Well, basically, there was a mysterious invader from the east.
Did he have a huge mustache?
I think it was called like Monosdrovia. Like it was this weird, like made up name. But basically, it's not like how do you win. It's just how do you make it uncomfortable to be attacked, as in a hedgehog or porcupine, depending on Well, porcupines can attack you.
Do you understand our metaphor?
Yeah, metaphor. That's a very good metaphor. I think people do get. I don't want to say people don't get metaphors. That's a very simple metaphor. It was just like, yeah, you can bite us, but better than bite those guys. They don't have spikes.
So the idea behind that is because we're
That's not the thing.
because we're a reserve army. So you go through your conscription when you're 18 to whatever. Like it's 32, I think now you get drafted, or 30, something like that. Anyways, once you get through your conscription, you're in reserve. You get your training, you get out, you're in reserve, and then you get called back every like 2 to 3 years for reserve exercises. But every year they have these exercises, and they called
Spring Storm or something?
Spring Storm. That's what it's called. One year they called it Hedgehog because like they made a whole campaign about it, like how they made like fucking patches and like whatever else knickknacks you can put on people so they can like commercialize it, basically.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
That's like if Hannes ran the alley. Just for listeners at home, Hannes is very happy.
he got a word right. No, that wasn't it.
No.
He got a word right in like simplest English.
Story.
Because how would you make commercialize into a fancy posh English word though?
Commercialize.
Like we were
Advertisement.
Okay, sure.
Go back to your story, man.
Most of us would just say sell out. But anyway.
So anyways, they made a whole fucking campaign about like we are a hedgehog, like because it's a really common animal here,
I didn't know what I
like
did.
every spike counts, you know, every thorn counts.
Every thorn counts of a
But
fucking
why does every
hedgehog.
thorn count?
Because a hedgehog
every single one of those reservists count.
But
Like
why
even
is-
if you
No, but you not see the metaphor. Maybe humans don't get metaphor.
hedgehog is a really small, cute animal.
Okay, why don't you want to fuck with a hedgehog?
Yeah, I get the metaphor because it balls up into a fucking thing you don't want to touch.
Why don't you want to touch it?
Because it's
That's a
spiky and
How
it
many
hurts.
spikes does it have?
A shitload and it hurts.
What if it had fewer?
It wouldn't be so fucking.
Right, the whole point is like you can't stop the invading wave, but you can make it fucking uncomfortable to eat a hedgehog.
Yeah,
By
I
just running into a
get
wave.
your metaphor.
You moments ago told me I was wrong. Both of
No.
you.
I didn't. We can listen to it back. I did not say you were wrong.
Mark.
I don't remember. I lost the track.
We're not saying that you were wrong. We were just.
I feel like I got the operation right. Like you guys
Yeah.
need to be an untasty morsel, and then they'll just head
I'm
south.
pretty sure you were just talking about the same thing and disagreeing still.
They already went south. They
I
didn't
was-
like it there.
The part of the Estonian defense is that luckily we're actually like we're probably like 90% of the chances of anybody invading us is Russia. And the large amount
they
of
would
the
be
border
invading.
with Russia is the Lake Peipsi or Peipus, which is called in Latin. And then the bit upstairs where it's like Narva. And then there's like bogs and shit. And that's really
They might
difficult
annex.
terrain.
They might annex.
I'd like to see a tank go through a bog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they might still annex. Like they might. I mean, that's
No,
imagine.
the only thing that they
They would
can
use power
do is
vehicles.
use long-range missiles, which is
No, but that's not.
No one's gonna bomb every.
Yeah.
Why has there not been? Why has there not been a shooting war in Europe for? 60 years?
that's the thing.
Why hasn't there?
Because it's so messy.
I think it comes down to Oppenheimer and his powers.
Yeah,
It's nuclear.
because you can use other
No, that's
things.
why there was a Cold War. Like
Yeah.
the Cold War, the whole point was like we can't shoot each other because if we start shooting each other, one of us will nuke each other.
And that's why the Estonians won a lot of wars, and
Absolutely.
that's why we've.
So
been
what's the
here.
new war? What's the new fights? What's even Russia's gotten into this? Where's the new battleground?
Well, cyber. Everything is everything.
Cyber's a part of
No,
it's an economic.
it is an economic war,
China's winning.
but it's also hearts and minds.
Kinda. They're big in. They're building their little. What's the thing of pearls? The string of pearls.
They think
The whole
they're
thing.
winning, they're doing their own thing, but it's like Russia and China and everybody else. And then how much are you winning if you're actually losing everybody else?
What? Okay, you have to define.
And then there's actually
define winning.
And then there was like
Charlie Sheen.
a perfect
We're winning.
a perfect example of this was that Tartu University, which is one of the oldest universities in Europe, which was started in 1645, 65, something like that.
Dude, I don't know. Don't look at me.
It's one of the
I'm dead.
oldest, one of the oldest universities in Europe and in the world, like basically, which is still working. And we think of it as the cauldron of Europe, Estonian knowledge or something.
I think
like
it
that.
is your Oxford, Cambridge.
Yeah, pretty much.
When I was there, it feels like it.
Yeah, it's like
The university.
these guys know what they're talking about. Like they're actual scientists and they're actually like there for the knowledge. And what was the fucked up part was that they made a contract with Huawei, which is you know where this is going.
I actually know there's a story there, so I'm interested by that.
And then they have a newspaper and the university. And the university, what are the journalists wanted to write about that? Hey, the university made a deal with Huawei, and it actually stipulates that we can't do this and we can't do this, and they have to do this and we have to do this, and yada yada yada.
Not to mention that they're a country which, by a company by law has to spy on external companies.
There you go. And the university were like, yeah, we're gonna not publish that.
Of course.
Which is, for me and for other people who have been somehow related to the university, is the biggest crime of all. You will not stifle a voice of the university just because of a foreign interest or of another interest. If it's not like factually wrong. Like if it's factually wrong, then there's no problem.
Yeah, there's something else.
Yeah. But if it's something that it's bringing up to light, everybody and I saw from my Facebook communities everywhere on my social community, everybody was like, "Oi, that is not how we do it in the university." And it took like 2 days, and the article was published. And
probably the most read article the university has ever produced because of this.
Yeah.
Brouhaha. There's a word for you. Brouhaha.
What?
Brouhaha?
Yeah, I'm probably saying it. I'm probably
How do
pronouncing
you spell it?
That's not the English.
Brouhaha.
Brouhaha?
You think?
Yeah, it's brouhaha. Let me plug in Alexa.
It's not the English.
It is English.
It is English. Okay. Is it short for something?
No, English have like weird words like quasi and stuff like that.
So
Which don't sound English.
So usually
but
something like this sounds
Like vase?
heard at this point somewhere, but
You mean like vase?
Vase, yeah.
Well, it is a vase.
What?
a vase.
A vase.
Where's the Mercer word?
Harry Potter?
No, Mercer.
Look at this visage.
Two feet more?
No. Matthew Mercer. You know.
Yeah, 2 feet more.
What was the thing that he said? Weird.
She's waking up, sorry. For those of you at home, switching on the Alexa.
Anyway, I'm going to continue on with the university story.
Okay.
Anyway, so everybody actually were pointing at it that, hey, this is not okay. That
It's a freedom of speech foundation.
yeah, exactly. And especially in that university, which is kind of the beacon of knowledge and scientific thought.
And it's the journalist students who are supposed to
Exactly.
be taught to not sell out and to speak to people's truth.
That was kind of snuffled out. The prohibition of that article was kind of snuffled out in 2 days or something like that. And then the article came out. And then actually there came an investigation, and the contract, I believe, was cancelled in a week and a half.
That's really good.
But that was the only thing that I saw that actually happened. what right now I see is that Huawei is pretty much advertising itself in the main businesses in Estonian literature, like Delphi, then the other one, which is called Postimees, like everything. And I haven't seen anybody written anything like against it.
No,
like, they cancelled the thing. There are things.
There is a balance. There is a balance. So let's say Tartu University decides to get email. And let's say they decide to use email off campus. So who would they go for? Who would you recommend them use? Especially if they need document collaboration and calendars.
I don't know. I'm not.
You're not going to fall into my trap.
Yeah, no, I'm not the person to add that. I'm not.
Okay, a lot of people recommend Google.
Yeah, but that's not also like a good.
Do you know
place.
one of the initial like funding routes for Google?
No.
Sergey Brin, or whatever that guy's name was.
I know that Google is pretty much the same evil as Huawei, but it's not for China.
Sergey Brin was literally giving the CIA and NSA briefings. The NSA, like they're so closely aligned. It's like Huawei for America.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's what I've been saying, that personal information will be the next, what's it called when you have gold, minerals and stuff? What's it called?
Commodity?
Not a commodity. What you have like from the ground.
Commodity.
No, it's not called commodity.
Oil is a commodity.
It's different words. Valuable. In Estonia, it's called maavara.
Maavara. I like it. Sounds marvelous.
It's called earth valuable.
That's definitely. Computer. Define commodity.
Commodity is usually defined as an article of trade or commerce, especially a product as distinguished from a service.
Yeah, but that's...
For more, ask me to give you more definitions for commodity.
We'll ask if you want it.
A commodity...
Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Shut up. A commodity is more of a thing that is already produced. A thing that I'm thinking of is what lies dormant underneath. Like it's pretty much what you need to mine for.
Mineral.
Yeah, it's not only minerals. Like it can be whatever.
Or
it literally can be whatever you can get off of the ground.
No, but I'm with you. So
fluorescence,
privacy, but I think
oil, minerals, diamonds.
People gave up on their personal data.
We have not yet.
We're pretty much happy.
Yeah, no. We are in the contracts of like we're accepting for Google to use our personal data, whatever we are giving them. We are also accepting that app we use the things. We're also using whatever you're using.
Bots.
Yeah.
I don't know what their terms and conditions are, but I'm sure that's where they're making their money.
We're not actually giving them a full information. We're not actually giving them a full range of things because we're using different applications, different things.
Depends on what cookies you have.
Exactly. But for the smarter bunch of us, the information of our usage and our dealings in the internet, of our information on the internet, of our whatever you are doing on the web, that will be the biggest commodity in the next 10, 20 years. I don't know. Which will be bigger than gold because that will be the worth of advertisements, which will you be using as a business.
That's Google.
And yes, but right now we're giving it
Yandex. Very good.
In Russia, yes, Yandex is Russia's Google.
And it's, I heard that. I wish I'd invested in Yandex, man, because they've been rising way faster than Google.
Yeah,
and they don't.
Because they're a growing business in a place where Google is basically prohibited.
Do you ever do like Google image searches? If you really want to find something out about that person, use Yandex as image search because it's awesome.
But that's what I'm saying. Like we're right now we're in the between session. We're right now where the infrastructures of search engines and web pages and apps and everything, they have like weird access to our information. Whereas, believe me, in 5 years, your personal information will be as a commodity, as real estate, as gold, as everything that you can rent out, that you can put on stock market, whatever. So that will be the truth. And as much as you can keep it from now, from the bigger entities, the corporate entities, the bigger your data will be valuable on the market.
I was on another great Estonian podcast lately, Neophilia.
What? I haven't been to that.
I was one of the early.
Oh, you were the early ones, yeah.
Pretty early.
You were the early ones. I wish that was the first one.
So anyhow, there I was.
There you were.
Doing some educating. Damn! Giving the neophilia, helping the new thoughts. But yeah, talking about Tim Berners-Lee and his new version of the web. And he's been pushing for the last 5 years that cookies and all the information that cookies hold need to be formatted similar to like an XML object data, like RSS. Like you can store anything in XML. It's a very clever thing. Like you just create an object type, person, thoughts, like whatever it is. And you store all that information on your own devices. When you go to a website, it gives you the whole website, and then on your local machine, it's kind of like using a security calculator in your bank.
What's the thing called when you pour water in it and you have pasta in it, and then you pour the water off?
Strainer or colander or strainer.
Basically, the strainer effect happens on your device rather than on the web.
It delivers you a whole bunch of dynamic content, and then the dynamic content is refined to your tastes locally, not on the server. Therefore, the server never knows your tastes, and you, as the user, get to own your own data. And that's his new version of HTTP to Tim Berners-Lee. Like, I made the web, I was young, I kind of fucked up. This is the next direction of the new one. We need to do this. And I made the first one, so listen to me, because this is the new one. And everyone's ignoring him.
Nobody
of course
will.
they're fucking ignoring him.
Nobody will.
No, they will, but nobody cares.
Imagine if there's an entity, let's say it's Google, and they will say, I will give you $50,000 and I'll give it to you. You will have it on your bank account. No strings attached. You go surfing your web, whatever.
No strings attached?
No strings attached. I will
just take these terms and conditions.
I will just know everything you do on the web. Everything every button
they
you
don't need to
click.
pay me $50,000. I'm already doing that for free.
No, but in the future, because in the future it will become a commodity, and Google will be at the upfront of buying the commodity.
We are the commodity.
Because
we're the commodity.
Because we are the consumers.
No,
and the
we're not
consumer
the consumers.
we are.
No.
The consumer,
Prostitutes in that scenario.
Yeah, kind of. We're the commodity.
consumer information will be the most valuable thing in the world in, I will say, 10 years.
If it not already is.
No, in 10 years, it will be a thing that you can bargain with on the stock market. Right now, you can't. But in 10 years...
Well, you think you'll be able to like invest in consumer data?
Yes.
That'd be like a fund that earns...
Yes. You can be... I will have my consumer data on this and that funds.
There's already a way to do that, actually. If you want to invest in people's data, just buy Google.
No, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. I'm telling you that.
But I'm saying that will be a bigger market, as right now people are on Google. But
people don't care. They're giving it away.
But as Apple will be on the search engine market, and as there will be other companies on the search engine market, the market will be split. There will be other companies that will be inclined with
all the marks.
Yes, and
in the X as well,
and the personal information that you carry within you, with your phone, with your headphones, with your watch, whatever you have, which is digital, they all will be for sale. You will have the opportunity to sell it for the highest bidder on the stock market. You can have it as a piece of a company that you will own and can trade on the stock market.
You're not even close to owning your data.
Right now.
Yeah.
But it will happen.
No, but you can choose to.
Do you know why it will
You
happen?
can choose to own
Do you know why it will happen?
Because the EU is a glorious place.
No.
I think so. That's what will save us.
No. Do you know why it will happen? Because there will be people who will be making off money off of people. Because there will be brokers of your information.
So you say,
It will be the same.
if the marketplace exists,
Yeah.
then people will be like, okay, there's a marketplace. I just need to learn how to keep my data private and own it.
Exactly.
That's
And the VPNs,
fucking good idea.
the VPNs and everything that will take market, that will take shit, and then you will not be able
It's just
to
a
track.
browser. It's just a browser.
But if you want to,
If you created a browser which created a local storage system that you store your own data, but at the moment none of us know as much, we don't know as much about ourselves as a lot of these platforms know.
absolutely.
We don't. When was it? We all have the right to go to Google and Amazon and all these people and say like, okay, under GDPR, thank you EU, like thank you. Under
Fuck off and delete all my information.
No, that's not the cool rule. The cool rule is under GDPR, as much as you can be deleted, you can also request all the data they have on you.
Yeah.
That's how you get your download. I think we should all, let's do that. I'm going to download I make a pledge to your podcast to download my data from...
You're going to hack into
Don't make it to the podcast. Make it to me because I don't think you will keep it. I would rather
have you a podcast update.
Yeah, I would rather think you will keep the promise to me than I don't
I
believe
make
you
a
will.
pledge to you.
Yes.
I will download my data within the next year. So this time next year, I will have downloaded it.
Man,
And
the next year.
Have you looked at how hard it is to download your data?
No, I have no idea. But the next.
There are people who are running through legal cases and all sorts of nonsense. And then once you get your data, you then have to work out what the fuck it means.
It would be actually interesting to see how different it is to get my data versus your data because you're an English-speaking Ugandan citizen.
I'm not Ugandan citizen,
resident who is living in Estonia
as a resident as well.
Versus me as a white male living in Estonia in a European
Let's do
country.
it. Let's see.
That's actually an interesting test
Let's give ourselves 1 year to develop the largest data profile we can
of ourselves.
of ourselves based on third parties.
This is no idea how to do that.
Me neither, but I know how to begin, which is to create a GDPR request that they send me my personal data, everything, and that means Google has to send you every image they have that they associate.
Do I then see all the porn that I've seen?
Potentially, you should get your full internet history. Have you done the location thing on Google where it said show my location history?
No.
Like I've done road trips around Europe, not realizing that I was actually recording where I was going, and it's all these beautiful roads that I thought I didn't know where they
I've
were.
always thought that Google kind of saves that, so I've never been
Dude, it's
bothered.
bothered
By saving my tracks because I always thought that Google is saving it for me.
Did you think it is? But this is my point. You're happy to give your privacy away.
Yeah, because I actually have nothing to hide.
No, that's the biggest fucking crime of all.
I know.
Like that's what
I'm saying.
And that's what our mentality is.
But that's
it's not
what I'm
about what
saying.
you have to hide. It's realizing that the most valuable commodity in the next 5 years is you.
Yes.
And you're saying, I don't mind. I've got nothing to hide. But yet
that's
you
what
know
I'm
this.
saying.
You know this. And that's why there's going to be a brouhaha. Wait, computer. Define brouhaha.
Bra is usually defined as brassiere, a woman's undergarment for supporting the breast.
Computer, stop. Computer, define brouhaha.
Oh.
Sorry. Computer, stop.
What was that?
Computer. Computer, never mind.
All the listeners, that's Alexa.
So it's brouhaha.
Okay, computer. Define brouhaha.
Bra is usually defined as brassiere, a woman's
computer,
undergarment for supporting the breast.
Computer. One more time.
Just raw, man.
Computer. Define brouhaha.
Brouhaha is usually defined as excited public interest, discussion, or the like, as the clamour attending some sensational event, hullabaloo. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for brouhaha.
Give us more definitions.
Computer, give us more definitions of brouhaha.
I have one more definition for the noun, bra, a removable cover to protect it from road debris.
Anyway, we got it.
Yeah. It's a hullabaloo.
It's hullabaloo. Yeah, exactly. It's hullabaloo.
Hullabaloo.
Computer, define hullabaloo.
Hullabaloo is usually defined as a clamorous noise or disturbance, uproar.
It's big.
Close enough.
It's not the thing that I like.
Define Baloo the bear.
It didn't become a synonym, yeah.
The Baloo the bear is the generous, overlooking, overbearing bear that actually loves happenings and all the hedonistic joys of life.
Like a ugly bear. The bear necessities.
I think Baloo is the most hedonistic bear there is in literature.
You say that, there's Winnie the Pooh. He's nuts about his honey. He does some
I
mad
don't
shit
think
with
that
honey.
Winnie the Pooh is more hedonistic than Baloo.
He's getting some shit with his honey.
Listeners, you can write us in. Who do you think is more hedonistic, Baloo the bear or Winnie the Pooh? Write us at hunnikjuttu@gmail.com.
And for those English listeners, let's not forget Paddington.
I actually don't know who Paddington is. I know
There's two movies.
Paddington the bear.
Yeah.
Fucking kill boys of this.
You don't know Paddington?
No, I know that there's a bear.
So Paddington Bear is nuts about his Marmite sandwiches. Pooh the Bear is nuts about his honey.
Yeah.
And then there's Baloo, who doesn't want to be like you. That's the monkey. He's all about the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities of mother's basics necessities. Oh, fuck.
He likes to swim on the back. And let himself use.
Did you see the new Jungle Book?
Yeah, I have. I love it.
And Bill Murray was the motherfucking Baloo.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah.
Also, don't forget about the Tommies and the Jerrys.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Tommy and Jerry. It's a metaphor for the British and the German during the French World War.
Oh my god.
But why was Jerry the good guy? Jerry was the one who wanted to win.
Yeah.
Is it a German cartoon?
Tom and Jerry actually have a new movie.
That's the
coming
point.
out.
The guys that made Tom and Jerry, they were actually Nazis.
They were against the Tommies.
No.
Because Tom was the cat.
Mm-hmm.
I do have an actual question for the readers for next time. And
For those of you who are reading the transcript.
yes,
Good luck.
also the listeners. So, but also something for you guys to think about next time, because Mark,
Next
you being a graphic designer, an artist, you, Hannes being a visual artist in the painting medium. Also, you do a lot of social marketing, so you do have a lot of experience with visual mediums like Instagram photography or social media, like arts in general.
Way to scare you
And-
down what I do. Yeah.
Dude, that was shit. Why not? And only you being a visual artist of the motion graphics discipline.
Is that what I am?
Yeah, that's what I was always. That was what I was also looking for. Is that what I am?
Now I've been defined.
Now I am a social media artist.
My question to the listeners and you guys for next time is art actually no is art actually never not political?
Yes.
Yeah. This is fucking easy to answer the question.
Okay, fucking why?
Why?
Why is it not political? Sometimes.
Why is it never not political?
Okay, it's a double negative. You're messing with us.
Yeah, why is it never not political, as you just said so fucking rapidly? Why is it never not political?
I'm confused.
Because
Is art ever not is art ever not political?
So never not political, but ever not political.
Ask it such a confusing way.
I'm just being very gleeful.
No, you're not. That's not the definition of
Are you
gleeful.
saying?
I am so gay right now.
No, you're not.
I'm super gleeful.
No, you're
The
not.
gayest of gays.
You're being very confundant.
What the fuck is that word?
It sounds like a French mousse.
Exactly.
I would love the chocolate confondant. Computer, what is a confondant?
Condo is a noun meaning condominium, an apartment
she's
house,
great.
office building,
Thanks.
or other multiple unit complex, the units of which are
Computer,
individually
stop.
So,
Computer.
are you asking, wait.
Define confidant.
Computer, stop. Now, are you asking whether or not art cannot be political?
Yes.
Okay, yes. That's what we answer to.
Yeah,
It cannot be.
yeah.
There's times when it's not political.
Yeah.
Sorry, no. What I'm saying is art is
I
always
don't
political.
care how you phrase it.
Okay,
We're
so
saying
is art always political?
Yes.
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
we're
always
saying
political.
it's not
Sometimes
okay,
art
why?
can just be beautiful.
yeah, because for the first reason, because there are many artists who have no idea what's going on in the politics. So therefore, they're not actually making art that's political.
So B just found this lovely.
So you're saying art is never... Art can be also not an expression of a person's core
Political
values.
opinions.
Yeah, absolutely. It can just be a beauty. It can be.
Yeah.
It can be a definition of beauty, and it can be very abstract.
So you're saying art
Can be.
because of art.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's precisely. Well done.
precisely that.
You literally defined it. You could. I could not have said it better. And you know what? A lot of the time, and this is because I'm a Luddite, or not Luddite, but whatever. I kind of prefer the art that is just for art's sake. I'm not a big fan of the political art. I feel I don't stay in touch with it enough. It's almost like reading the news. I'm just not into it as much as just something which is just pretty, like a tree. It can be nice. That's a nice tree.
I love how both of you kind of like instinctively try to defend your position to me instead of just like, I asked the question because I wanted to pick your brain
And try.
and you gave your opinion. No, it was like passionate, like I'm fucking, no, this is a statement.
Consider it picked.
Yeah. No, it wasn't picked. It was thoroughly examined.
Now you know everything about me, more than Google.
Yeah, man. I got all the cookies. I didn't do it for a nookie though.
Like he said, he's gay right now.
This is the way my student
It's
is.
all about the nookie.
We finally got him to say it.
Do you really think that art has to be political? You don't think it can be beautiful just for its beauty's sake?
No, I don't think it has to be political. I think it is inherently.
Why?
Because every person's like, if you think about,
Haven't you met a person who has no idea what's going on in the politics?
of course I have.
Then how can you
I look
say,
in the mirror every day.
Then how can you say that they have an instance or like an inkling of what is going on in the politics, and how do you think that their art is
But even
some
more-
way
even if-
reflecting?
Even if somebody was into politics, what if in that moment they weren't thinking about politics? Like when you look at
That I
when
can
you look at
oppose to.
Van Gogh's
That I can
sunflowers, and you're like, oh, look at those sunflowers.
Mhm.
Is that because he's not into politics? What's the political statement there? Or is it just like, this is an amazing interpretation of how that makes you feel?
With that, I can tell you what Miranda told us in Devil Wears Prada, where the Miranda was played by the magnificent Meryl Streep. Dame. Is she?
No, because she's not English. I don't think they're Dane now.
Yeah, I don't think it's Dame Meryl Streep. It's Dame Helen Mirren, but it's not.
Oh God, I did confuse those two.
Judy Dench.
Yeah.
I-
Meryl
yeah.
Streep, but I think
I
it's
went-
Dame.
What did she say?
She said that you can be of fashion or against fashion, but you can never be out of fashion because that's
It's a choice.
yeah, it doesn't exist. You can be consciously with fashion, or you can be consciously out of fashion.
So you're saying by an artist consciously choosing to make a piece of art that's not
There you
political,
go.
it is therefore
Yeah.
political.
There you go. That's
So
the
then
same
you agree
thing.
with Carl that
I
it's impossible
don't.
to make art.
Because no, but I think because fashion is a thing that is always around us, but politics can be something that can be deterred. There can be a society, there can be a group of friends that have no idea what is going on with politics. Then they might know who's the prime minister, they might know who's the king, they might know who's the this and that over there doing that, but they have no idea what is going on in the politics. They have no idea who is talking with who and that, and who is saying mean things to another country and so and so. So how can you be political if you have no idea what is going on in the politics?
So ask everybody who votes in England.
That's a different thing.
That's not. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not
it
everybody.
is.
That was why I did.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like artists, in my opinion, like all the artists that I've seen, not all the artists, but some of the artists, they have the small circles of oxygen, who they communicate with, who they get the ideas from, and if that community, that small circle, has no connection to politics, if they are just in line with an idea, then that art is imbued with that idea.
Mm-hmm.
And it has nothing to do with the politics. Although you can argue that the circle's ideas are from the politics from that era, but that's another question. Because if you go that route, then you can say, like, if you take a piss, that's a political statement.
Yeah, I get your point. Yeah.
So
That's what I wanted to ask for,
Damn it, now
for you guys
it
to
feels
actually
it feels like taking a piss. Do I always think politically? No, but do I put the lid down because I want to feel more like a feminist? Sometimes.
you do?
Yeah, like here, I actually put the lid down. Like I often come out and then be like, I lifted it up. Like I need to be like all gender accepting. That's kind of a political statement. What's pissing? Damn it!
I actually like the lid closed.
There you go.
because it's
You're
closed.
getting it, right?
But my point is still like art. I think can transcend that. I think an artist who truly loves their medium wants to transcend politics and create.
But it is the
As
selfish.
you say, can escape that. There's few things. that you can actually escape.
The point is at least for me, art is a form of escapism. Anyways, it is.
Definitely.
I mean, it is. The point is to escape, right?
For everybody, but yeah.
Yeah, not for everyone. Yeah, sure. But still, for me, of course, like every medium of self-expression that I go through is a medium of a way to escape. It's a form of escapism. Yes.
I have a question. You know me the longest of these three.
Yeah.
When I was living in the apartment, when there was like this the small bathroom, like the bathroom you could go into and then lean your shoulders out, and then you could stand on your shoulders because the bathroom was so tight.
Yes.
Remember, I was doing this like a big painting, like it was pretty much the size of me, maybe even bigger, because it was wider than me, but it was shorter than me.
Yeah. I know the one.
And I drew there a basic. The painting was basically a face with dangles of lights here and there. So, was that a political painting or not?
So my question to you is: was that at some point inspired, or in some way?
No.
Mõjutatud. Fucking, how do you say it? Like,
Fuck off.
Yeah, English, man. Fucking.
Say it in Estonian. Müülatud.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I'm just.
Let's just go with that. Müülatud.
Sure. Mõjutatud.
That's what I said.
Influenced. Yeah, sure. So was it at some point?
Wait, influence is mõjutatud?
Mõjutatud. Influenced. In past tense.
Mõjutatud.
Mõjutatud is influenced in past tense.
Mõjutatud.
So singular
influence. Mõjutatud.
Noun is mõjutama.
Mõjutatud.
Mõjutama.
Mõjutatud.
Yeah, in past. So was it in some point like
been influenced?
Was it in some point influenced by the life you have had in this specific country?
No.
What was it influenced by?
I wanted to do a cool painting.
And you seriously believe that it came from nothing?
I had the order. And then I pretty much drew out the dimensions of the order. Then I ordered the, what's it called? Not the easel, but the canvas. Mm-hmm. I ordered the canvas from a specific person, which was a real specific order because nobody in Estonia had the size of the canvas because it was fucking big. Then I had it. Then I had to tow it into my place where I was living, which was the small bathroom place. And then I towed it on the ground and I was like, okay, what the fuck will I make it? And I was like, I will make it something that is unrecognizable, but still like something that is recognizable. And then I made it the face of Jennifer Aniston.
As you would.
And which was like the face of Jennifer Aniston, like in the contours. Is it in English?
Contours?
Yeah.
Like the ups and downs?
Yeah. No. The shaped outlines.
Yeah.
The outlines of the face, and then the hairs were like basically cosmic starlight that was coming around. And it was actually in no reason that I love Jennifer Aniston. It was because her face was, what's the word? What's the Photoshop thing that you do when you have like the black and white thing? The
threshold?
Threshold, yeah. Her face was so thresholdable that the contrast came out so well from that picture. And that was the whole reason why I chose her picture.
so threshold.
This year we also all have to walk up to a girl.
Yeah, your face is so thresholdable.
Take a picture of you. Your face is so just thresholdable.
I love it. But that was the
It's
whole
a good
reason.
term though. It's a good term. I'm sorry.
But that was the whole reason. And then I scanned it through an app, which I had, which kind of made the threshold app like thing. I have like kind of squiggles and shit, like
Paths?
No,
in Photoshop.
Yeah, right now, yeah, like I would call them paths, but it made such and such. So, and then I had them on my iPad, and then I would freehand them on the big canvas, which was pretty much 500 times larger than the painting on my iPad.
Okay.
And then I pretty much drew it like from my head, like what the paints were, what the colors were, what the gradients was. Like what I wanted, I threw some glitter in it, like on the base color of it, so that if light would hit it, then it would be like kind of shiny, which I didn't like tell anybody before it was like hung on the office wall. And
That does sound pretty unpolitical.
It had nothing to do with politics.
Just to make a cool picture or painting.
My idea was to make something that would be like
cool.
No, not cool, but not only cool, but something that if you would be. It was basically my idea of an elevator music.
You wanted to make musical muzak. I mean, artistic muzak.
Yeah. I wanted to make something that would be cool, but not too cool, so that it would be like if you would have something against it, then you would feel something against it. I wanted to be so bland yet cool, so it would be the best
background image, basically.
I call it meh.
Yeah, it was my best. Because there's like another painting which is encompassed of 4 paintings that I made that is meant to be looked at, which is a whole another story.
So before your 30th.
It was your another me.
No, that was actually made
It was a
It was actually made of 4 canvases, and the 4 canvases were made to be like these woods, like these leafless trees that have eyes in them. And then the whole painting is that if you look at it and from the center, that you're laid back with your back on the grass, and then you're looking up on the sky. And you're confronted with trees that are looking with you with eyes inside trunks, and then a purplish sky circumventing the center placement of yourself, which is basically like it went dark to a light into the center. So from dark on the outer side to light inside. True. And the point of it is that you can always rise up and go to the light, even if everybody else is looking and is judging you. You can always stand up and go to the light, which was the idea of the 4 paintings.
That's pretty political, though.
It is nothing to do with politics.
But wait,
this is a blind person's experience in a museum of paintings.
I think it would be really interesting to go into a museum as a blind person of paintings. Like, because they pick up on the whole... They pick up on movements, they pick up on sounds, all this kind of stuff. And if you were moving through a museum not knowing what was on the walls... But
somebody's explaining it.
But you're hearing people's mouths and ahs and like the silence.
The trees.
But like also silence, like knowing that there's 20 people in a room and they're all absolutely silent.
You have to know,
there's
20 people.
Yeah, but you would because because as much as you're blind, you can still hear the breathing.
I can come with you to Kumu.
Blindfolded.
I can blindfold you. And I can...
but I'm not blind, so
I would blindfold you.
Yeah, but you need to blindfold You need to blindfold me for like a decade, so I get good at being blind.
I can blindfold for a day.
That won't help. I'm not a blind person. Help. There's a difference between not being able to see and being a blind person.
It will help.
Yeah, it might help with something, but not my point. My point is somebody who's blind.
You think that all the fucking blind people are daredevils? That they're like, there's like... And there's like, there's fucking Mark. And there's fucking
echolocation.
What I'm saying is, if you were to sit down and okay, fine, blindfold me. Yeah, a non-blind person, but blindfold
like last night in the bedroom.
And if you just blindfold me like last night in the bedroom, and then I'll sit there.
How fucking
even a blind man would feel that.
I just felt that they were like kind of pushing me into that job.
A little bit. Yeah. No, I'm sad. Blinded.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No dick in my mouth.
No dick in my mouth, no dick in my butt. Everything cool.
Yeah.
And
you're in a museum, behave.
You leave me there for 20 minutes.
I will not leave you.
No, you gotta leave me. You gotta fuck off and let me just listen.
You don't know that I leave you.
Well, I wouldn't, but I would because I would.
Far.
Then I know you're there because you're fast. My olfactory senses will kick in, and you have quite a distinct fart.
Yeah,
it's like it's strong.
Harness.
I smell him.
But it's true.
But I think I would pick up people moving. I would pick up the movement of people.
But I think you would.
That you would. I would also.
20 people.
I think I would also, if you let me in, I would be able to tell you which corner of the room held the most engaging art piece. From the way people were moving.
That is interesting. Let's do that test. Because actually,
do you see what I'm saying?
No. But I don't think that
I would be able to tell you which side of the room people are engaging with.
No, I don't think that you will be able to
see anything.
That is also true.
Because you would be blindfolded.
It's really nice to have you back, Mark. Like you've not said much for a while, but you brought that home.
Actually, I don't think that if I would lead you blind through one exhibition.
Blindfolded. I'd like
Blindfolded.
to
Yeah.
be able to see the blindfolds.
Yeah, blindfolded. Yeah, I'm not making you blind. Like you're blindfolded.
And I'm masked. Let's not forget.
Whatever, yeah.
Because Corona. So literally,
Be you. I will give you a ski mask so you will feel comfortable. Yeah, it's more comfortable.
that's better.
And then I don't think that if I would lead you through the exhibition, that like I would actually give you like 2 hours, for example, for the small
No,
floor.
I would rather
Wait.
stay in a room if I was.
No.
I'd rather just enjoy
The one
which
floor.
I knew had like.
You've been to Kuula.
Yes.
Okay.
It changes.
Yeah, but the one floor is not that big.
Okay.
Yeah, it's if you're actually normally looking through it, it's like 40 minutes tops.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will leave you in that room for
10 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours. So that's twice as long as you need, and a little bit more. I will help you through the places so you can find the places to sit.
Okay.
Afterwards. So, what? If I get you into the art museum for 2 hours or whatever, ever shit longer, you will not be able to tell which art pieces were the shit and which were not.
I still disagree. I think I
We
will
can
have
do the test. I will pay for your tickets. I will pay for the blindfolds. I will put you in the fucking seats. I will be there for 2 hours.
Do you know where I like to do it?
Yeah? Kumu. You have to do it.
No. Can I go to... Because Fotografiska I know well. And just take me through the photo... Like, give me one of the big...
Fotografiska is a different thing, a different beast, because there are so much fewer things in it.
So as a non-blind person trying it out for the first time, maybe they would give me a bit of an advantage.
Oh, don't take me like oh my God, I have to be a blind person. No.
Dude, I've not had years of training.
I don't care. That's what I was saying. Like, you cannot tell the difference.
Okay, fine. We go to Mumu.
Kumu. Do you know what it stands for?
The Modern Art Museum, like Mumu.
Actually,
that's wrong.
Okay.
Oh my god, what the
Actually, it doesn't. But okay.
Whoops. No, okay, what does it stand for? Kum.
Art museum.
Kunstmuseum.
Yeah.
Kunst, you know, Kunst auf Deutsch, Kunst. Kunst. Art.
We covered this in the beginning of the podcast. I'm English. I speak nothing besides English.
Kunstmuseum.
If you call me a kunsty, we might have issue.
So Kunst is art. Kunsti is pertaining to art.
But it's a modern art museum.
Museum. Art museum.
Well, okay, it's not.
It isn't. There isn't modern art, and like there's very little modern art in it.
Every time I've been there, it's pretty modern. They have a few like what's the head room?
Yeah, the sculpture room.
The sculpture room.
Yeah,
Where they have
the
all
busts.
The busts, exactly. Well, they're not even busts. It's just
There it's busts.
what's the head called? A bust.
A head.
Seven head. Seven
I
head.
don't know.
Shrunken head.
It's
You
a
should
head.
know what's it called. I'm not English.
How sort of bust? More of the body.
Yeah, the bust is pretty much like a head from the nipple area. Up until the nipple area, but most of
So
them
the bust,
are actually.
the bust room in itself feels like an art piece. When you
It
go there.
is.
It's like
That's the
this
point of
isn't
it.
about the busts.
No.
This is about the installation,
It's about the noise of history.
which is ironic because we're talking about being blind in there, where it's probably
Exactly.
silent.
No, but if you go
The
there,
noise of art. Can we call it? Can we do like a podcast called? Okay, we need to take this
noise of
microphone and I'll talk to myself a little bit, and we can narrate the noise of art. Welcome. I'm Roman Mars, and this
Roman Mars.
I'm not Roman Mars, and this
Say who you are, because it's much more like, gratifying.
I'm not Roman Mars, and this is the voice of art.
It's a kick-ass name, man. Say it.
I have a kick-ass name. I don't like.
If you have a podcaster's name, then who has?
I don't like to self-promote at all. I don't like to be that. I want to be invisible in there.
I'm Ollie Patchler, and this is.
That sounds really weird.
Why? Yeah, it is. I'm Ollie Bachelor, and this is Batman. I was gonna say the sound of art, but fuck off.
I didn't. I fucked it right off.
You've
Really adapted to the darkness.
Let's see how your experience blindfold is with the arts. Let's see, Mr. Bachelor.
Yes, you don't like to stay till I was a man.
I'm quite looking forward to
Welcome to the pain of art. Fuck you, Batman.
We actually have mics now.
Dude, and this little guy travels well because he picks up room sound, as I'm sure you will notice today. Sorry.
And I will videograph this.
Good luck. I'll be sat there for 2 hours.
Yeah, but I will be moving you around.
Can I listen to a podcast while we're there?
No.
Probably listen to everything else.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's so good.
Why is the point?
Does a little bit.
Well, this is me signing off.
You're not Roman Mars. Fuck off.
It's a good time to sign off.
It is
Can I play the outro track? I did that the first time I was on the podcast.
oh shit.
Yeah, you did actually. It was a really good track.